everybody still here on Table Mountain, Cape Town, South Africa. And sometimes it's good to just take a moment to slow down and reflect. So like right now, I'm eating my cashews from the Gambia on Table Mountain in South Africa. 3 years ago, well, I'll take about maybe 4 years. 4 years ago, I was just starting to think about Africa. I would have never imagined 17 countries later, top of Mount Kilimanjaro, the beaches of Seychelles, the mountains of Nigeria, the shores of Senegal and Cote d'Ivoire, some of the best food I've had in my life in Ghana. I could not have predicted that life would take this path. I couldn't have paid me to do it, to predict it. Bringing people to the continent and creating first-class experiences for them, not just from a travel perspective, but from a mindset perspective, from a connection perspective. Life just has a funny way of evolving into whatever it's gonna become. And I'm thankful for the experiences because I remember, I talked about it in another video, I just remember being on the grind. I remember just being, just kind of caught in the American way of thinking, the American world, the Black American world, whether it was from a victim standpoint or whether it was from I don't know. And, sometimes when people watch the videos, they come from their perspective, they come from their filter. So if you say certain things, it might trigger something in them, and then they drop something in the comments, and which is a reflection of whatever their particular, mindset or whatever it is that is going on with them at that time. But what I'm realizing is that people have the ability to learn, even if they don't like what they're hearing. They're still hearing it, and at least sometimes that one thought will come which will challenge another thought. And because I know there have been times that I've heard things that didn't make sense, and then I heard it again, then it started to make a little bit more sense. What I do know is that this journey has been the greatest form of education that I could have ever hoped for. Every penny that I've spent has been well worth the knowledge. When I came to the continent in November of 2018, I was completely, totally, 100% ignorant about most aspects of Africa. And then I started spending time among the people and among the different cultures and learning different, just different cultural nuances and tasting different foods and just learning. And I'm so glad I did that because it took away that whole American superiority mentality that many Americans, black or white, have, but in particular many Black Americans have. Like, yeah, we need to go over there and fix them Africans, and we need to go over there and teach them how we do it, and we're gonna fix them and we're gonna get them right. When in actuality, they already have so much that we need. They already have so much that we can glean from, just from an organic and indigenous perspective, because culturally, we have just been, we're like a morph of things. We're like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, remnants of the indigenous. So we have these remnants of the indigenous, but most of us in America really don't have any known connection to Africa. That's why I like the Netflix documentaries like High on the Hog resonate, because like, wow, I didn't know that. Or when I showed a video of the Yoruba village in South Carolina, or when I took everybody to Savannah and you see the Adinkra symbols on the buildings in Savannah. It's like, wow, there really is a connection. They don't teach it to us in our history books. Our churches, by and large, don't teach it. It's not a part of our culture. Most of our Black American culture is really white American culture. or it's starting at slavery, and they say, well, our history starts at slavery, but we have so much history that predates European chattel slavery. That's the part that I think woke me up the most, to say that I've been partially educated and I have been colonized in my education. I've been colonized in my culture. I've been colonized and imperialized in the way that I thought, to my own detriment, because what it did was it gave me a false sense of superiority, a false sense of, we are the ones who have the trauma, the lock-on trauma. And so we, as descendants of slaves, we have this special thing about us, not even considering Haiti, not even considering Cuba and Venezuela and Brazil, in particular Brazil. Most people don't know about Brazil, but when it comes to Black America, we have this special thing that nobody else has, which is simply not true. Because when you really look at the numbers through that time, and you see that Black Americans or African Americans or whatever you want to call us, the numbers were relatively small in comparison to the rest of the world. So I'm going through this and I'm looking at the stories, and I go down to Salvador and Brazil, and I begin to continue learning and learning and learning, and I realize the gross injustice that has occurred in the American educational system intentionally. But it's not just the gross injustice in the American educational system, it's also the gross injustice in the African educational systems and the Brazilian educational systems that have been whitewashed and using brown people to do the whitewashing. So I'm realizing that you have brown people who have been co-conspirators across the board in making sure that we remain ignorant to, one, the beauty of Africa, one, those who come from Africa, and then our cultural and historical connections to the continent. It gets deep, and it forces me to be in a philosophical state pretty much 24/7, because I lived a life of believing something that was skewed and by and large untrue. And what I hope that and I'm not just speaking to African Americans, I'm talking to folks in the UK. And I know I've talked to several people in the UK, and it's like some of those people just like are disconnected. They're like, well, I'm British, and so I'm not African, I'm British. And you can't tell me, I like my British thing. Cool, like your British thing, but don't forget, that melanin just gonna show up. Them white boys gonna remind you at some point. I don't care how uppity you get, them white boys gonna remind you. And it's the same thing. I'm Canadian, I'm not African, but everything about you says African. Your hair texture, your skin color, everything about you, your hips, everything says African. When we can take pride in our African features and our African stuff, the power force that we can be, and this is not to put down any other ethnicities, it's just for us to own who we are. So, I look at that and it makes me proud. When I look at my children's book series, The Adventures of Darren and Destiny, and all of the books that are coming down the pike, the animated series, the live productions, how that's going to impact another generation, where our children won't walk around ashamed or ignorant about this beautiful land. And this is not to say that this place, the continent, doesn't have challenges. Of course it does. You have people who came in and messed everything up on many levels, and not even those who were indigenous had messes going on. That's just humanity. Humans have messes going on. So that messes is not something that's exclusive to just that which occurred with the Arab and European slave trades. But now that we're in this place of technology, we're in this place of education, we're in this place of unfiltered information 24/7, we don't have an excuse anymore. We don't have an excuse to make a priority to say we want our children to have exposure just like everybody else's children. That's why I appreciate what Alicia and Monique Hines do with their children, with Aliana and Dominic and the whole family, what they do, junior flips, and how they take them around the world. And when you hear these children speak, you can tell that they have a wealth of knowledge that many adults don't even have, simply because it's not a priority to them. They're like, oh no, we're gonna take them to Disney. We're gonna take them to Disney. We're cool, but take them somewhere where it might not be so, polished, if you will. And I think that's another problem that we have is many African Americans, Black Americans. We're always looking to go someplace that's extremely polished, And because of that, you know, and that's Western, you know, we're not willing to step outside of some of our comfort zones. And it's, again, to our detriment. And I understand it because I was that way. I would have never gone to the Gambia, you know, 5 years ago. It took me everything within me to go to Ghana. I didn't want to come to South Africa first because I knew that coming to South Africa first, it was not going, it was not the cultural, what's the word? The cultural advancement that I needed. It was a lateral move, if you will. And so going to Ghana, it was able to culturally give me a cultural advancement. When I went to Togo and Benin, it gave me a cultural advancement, which was then breaking down that Western mindset, that bougie thing, that thing that, you know, and I'm not knocking bouginess. It's just like, it's good to have some of that too, because that makes you well-rounded. But it's all some people are is bougie, you know what I'm saying? And that, bougie and ignorant. And so some people say, well, Africa isn't for everybody. Well, America ain't for everybody. Europe isn't for everybody. You know, and so I knew for me, I just wanted to be balanced. For the longest, I avoided going to Nigeria because I remember when I went to Ghana, the tour guide said, no, don't go to Nigeria because they're bad in Nigeria. Don't go. I talked to a couple Ghanaian people, no, don't go to Nigeria. You know, I wouldn't go to Nigeria. And at that point, I knew I needed to go to Nigeria. And do you know what happened when I went to Nigeria? I had the best time in Nigeria. Being among the people, being in the space where everybody thought that I was one of them. But if I'd have listened, what's happening? If I'd have listened to what they were telling me, then I'd be still just, you know, going to Accra and not, you know, not willing to venture into Lagos, not willing to go to Calabar, not willing to go to Abuja. My first trip to South Africa was last year. I came to Johannesburg and had a time of my life. Shout out to the real South Africa. Had a time of my life. And I was like, man, I can't wait to go back to Durban and Cape Town and check things out. And so I knew I was ready at that point in time because I'd been to the places I needed to go. I'd been to East Africa and Tanzania. I'd been to the top of Kilimanjaro. I'd been, you know, tasted food in different areas. And been to Zanzibar, been to Cote d'Ivoire. So in coming here, what it does is that I'm able to appreciate the people in South Africa. You know, I don't look at the Western amenities, although they're very nice, and although when you come on a tour with me, you're gonna see them, the Western amenities, but at the same time, it's being among the people, and some of the nicest people that I've encountered on the continent right here in South Africa. Whether Durban, whether Johannesburg, or here in Cape Town, some of the absolute nicest people. Same thing in Tanzania, though. Same thing in Kenya. Same thing in Seychelles. Same thing in Morocco. Same thing in Senegal. So I go back to when I was afraid to come to the continent in 2010, and I was sponsoring people, giving them money to go to Africa, but I was afraid to get on the plane to go. And you know, part of me is ashamed of that, you know, and when I say that, meaning I'm not like really ashamed of it because I was just ignorant, you know. I can call it for what it is. Some people, I don't want to admit that I was ignorant. No, I was flat out ignorant. I was ghetto ignorant because I'm sitting up there listening to the peanut gallery. But I'm so glad that I've gotten past it. And you know, here's the wonderful part about it. It has turned into a movement. And this movement is bringing more and more people. More and more people are watching. More and more people are tuned in. More and more people are saying, wow, I thought the same way. I felt the same way. I don't want to be like that. We're bringing people for the first time of all age groups. Children, 11, 12, 9, teenagers, 20-somethings coming for the first time, 30-somethings coming for the first time, 40-something, 50-something, people all the way up to 89. So our range, you know, it's not, we don't just cater to one age group, we just want to bridge the gap. And 4 years ago, I was just trying to figure out how I was going to get here. Now it's turned into a movement. I've met some amazing people along the way. Continue to meet people, continue to have experiences because I was willing to take a chance and willing to broaden my perspectives and broaden my mindset. And that's what I'm hoping. And right now it's chilly. It is chilly up here on Table Mountain. But It is one of the most spectacular views that I will always remember. This video, I always think back on it. I can always go back and watch it. That's why I'm always videotaping things. It's just an amazing, amazing journey. And I want other people to have this experience. I want your family to have this experience. I want your children to be able to, when they stand up and talk in school, they can say, yes, I've been to Africa. When everybody else like, ew, you went to Africa. I say, hold on. I had some of the best oranges when I went to the Gambia. I had some of the best cashews when I went to the Gambia. I went to Accra and I had some banku. I had some wache. I went over to East Africa and I had some chapati. I had some palau. You know, these are some dishes that are known for that part of the world, varying influences. But it's that type of thing that, you know, that's how we break down that stuff that they tried to peddle to us. And then the flip. Oh, this is the other part. I think about my ancestors on both sides who fought, who sacrificed, who didn't know to fight, but did the best they could with what they had. And they did that so that the next generations could come and have the ability to get on a plane and fly. They did it so they could do it without fear. And that's why I said, when I used to think about those long flights, I said, I gotta get on a plane now, because there are people who sacrifice so that I can have this opportunity, and I'm not gonna take advantage of it. You know, I think about the people who didn't know, you know, what was coming down the pike and how their sacrifices were gonna lead to all of the opportunities that we have in front of us right now. How many of us are not even taking advantage of the opportunities? And I hope to inspire people to say, you know what, let me go get my passport. Let me stop sitting around here. Let me go get the passport. Let me go through the process. Let me deal with getting a visa. You know, everything, it doesn't have to be easy. That's the one thing. That's why those all-inclusive, cheap trips that they set up for us, they design that because they know, you know, many of us are going to be too lazy to go through the process of getting the passport, or they don't want to go through the visa, or they don't want to do this, or they don't want to do that. So because of that, they miss out on what's on the other side, and they still, in essence, still stay in a little bit of a box, not a little big box, because they're looking for everything to be easy. It's when I went through the process, got the passport, got the visas where I needed to go, what was on the other side was the value. You know, anybody digging for gold, they have to go through a lot to dig for gold. If you're gonna go find diamonds, you're gonna have to go dig to go get those diamonds. The diamonds just aren't just gonna come up to you. And so again, that's a part of that cultural conditioning that many of us have, that everything's supposed to be easy, everything's supposed to be already done. But the other folks in the world, they understand. We're gonna have to dig, we're gonna have to look, we're gonna have to search. And that's why the wealth comes to them. So for us, let's go dig a little bit. Let's go have these experiences. Let's create this for ourselves, so that when the time comes, we can sit back and we can say, wow, what an amazing ride this was. And we can leave pictures and videos and stories and all of these different accounts for the next generation. And that's how we leave our mark. That's how we bridge the gap. That's how we leave a legacy. I was talking to somebody recently. We were talking about how brothers and sisters come over here, you know, they're on a mission, they got another mission that they're on. And I was like, man, I said, the fellas, y'all sitting over there all by yourself, lonely over there in America, and the sister's not trying to get at you. You need to come on over here to Nigeria, come on over here to South Africa, go on over there to Ethiopia. I'm trying to tell you fellas, trying to tell you. Y'all don't hear me though. But I mean, even from that perspective, I'm seeing people who have come over and they've gotten married, they found their loved ones, they got marriage, and all that kind of stuff happened because they stepped outside of that box of America and they found what they were looking for. Sister sitting over there, man, we'll get married one day, but ain't no good men around here no more because you're stuck in America. You need to come on over here to Africa. You never know what you might find. Anyway, I'm just, but I'm for real though. You know, brothers, I'm just saying, these are things that, you know, they talk about it, but they talk about it on the low. But you never know. All I'm saying is the world has no borders other than psychological borders, meaning if you have that blue passport, you can pretty much go wherever you want to go, except Russia. But you might even still be able to go there. But going, we don't, I never hear us wrestle with going to Europe. I've never heard an African American in my life, man, I don't know if I'm trying to go to London. Man, I don't know if I'm trying to go to Paris. Man, I don't know if I'm trying to go to, man, I don't know if I'm trying to go. Man, I heard it's bad over there. I got to go to Rome. I got to go to Israel. I got to go to the Holy Land. I got to go to the Holy Land. Don't even realize the Holy Land might be in Africa. Ooh, that's a whole other topic. I ain't gonna touch on that right now. But, it's like, I'm not trying to go over there. Ooh, you going to Africa? Oh, Lord, we got to have a prayer vigil for you, because if you're going to Africa, we got to pray that, oh, Lord, that they don't get you over there. Oh, God, don't even realize they already got you in America. They already got you, got your mind, got your soul, got everything, got your pockets, got your brain, all that stuff going on. Then you come to Africa, but see, the thing is, you get set free when you come here, because you're like, wait a minute, hold tight. But I don't ever hear anybody wrestling with going to the European destinations. But when it comes to anywhere in Africa, well, maybe not South Africa so much, I don't know. But oh Lord, I don't know. We got to figure out how we gonna do that. You sure you won't do that? Man, I ain't trying to go to North Africa. What you talking about? You crazy, you going to Africa. Oh God, I heard they got the storm. They got the Ebola in Africa. Oh Lord, they got the, and here's the crazy part. COVID ran all up in America, all up in America. And then when it came to the continent, it didn't have remotely the impact that it had in America. But I don't hear people talking about that. I don't hear people talking about how the small numbers of COVID on the continent of Africa in comparison to America. Don't hear that. But oh no, you wait until the next Ebola comes through, or I don't know, the West Nile, or the whatever, Zika, whatever virus they want to give a name to, and then they won't talk about that. And you don't even hear people up in arms about calling it, different African variants and all of that. But then you go talk about China and identifying it with Wuhan and China. Everybody, oh, that's racist. But nobody talking about how racist it is when they labeled all of those different viruses based upon different locations in Africa. See, this is the stuff, the mind play, that we don't even think about. And this is what you realize when you come over here. During that whole time where the pandemic was out of control, it never hit this continent the way that it hit America and Europe and other parts of the world. But that wasn't the talk of the conversation. And because everybody was thinking it was worse here, but it really wasn't. Now, why it was like that, I don't know. I don't know what the future holds, but these are just the realities. These are the realities. I was in Zanzibar in December 2020. I was in Cote d'Ivoire. I was in Ghana. Even hopped down to Mexico in September 2020. I traveled throughout the whole thing. And then I wasn't being reckless or irresponsible, but I understood that I was looking at the numbers. I was trusting the science. I was looking at the data, and I was doing that. I said, wow, it looks like it's pretty safe over there in Africa. Interesting. All of this is a part of these narratives. And what I hope to give people exposure to is when you see things for yourself, then when you hear stuff and information that comes across from the mass media, you're able to digest it a little differently because you're able to see it for yourself. And that's what travel does. You educate yourself, you see for yourself, and you begin to appreciate so many things on so many different levels. So anyway, guys, listen, I want to bring you to Africa. I want you to come. I want you to join us on a maximum impact travel experience. We have so many of them lined up: Ghana, Egypt, Tanzania. We're going to unveil our South Africa package, where Johannesburg, Durban, Cape Town. We're looking to finalize Senegal and the Gambia. Kenya, Seychelles. We're working on Senegal. I did say Senegal and Gambia. Looking to bring back Togo and Benin. It's just when this whole COVID thing goes on, you have so many different regulations and all of that. But we're going to have packages that you can become a part of our Maximum Impact Travel family. And as becoming a part of that Maximum Impact Travel family, you get to connect with other like-minded people on these journeys as we bridge the gap. And a lot of people are relocating or at least doing extensive travel and vacations in Africa, considering we have people who are doing their destination birthdays, 50th birthday parties. They're doing weddings, they're doing anniversaries. This is what we're going to do. We're going to make Africa sexy. That's right. And we're not going to colonize it. We're not going to do it from a colonized standpoint, even though I'm going to show you some bougie things and let you know what all is here. But really what I'm working on is the mindset, so that we understand all the options that we have. And as a result of that, you can determine what works for you. Your thing might be the bougie. Hey, look, let me tell you, I'm enjoying Durban, Cape Town, and Joburg. So please don't get it twisted. I have embraced all of me. You know what I'm saying? I love the Gambia, and you can watch my video of me walking through the Gambia. You can see me on the camel in Senegal and on the ATV. That part of it, you can see me hanging out in Accra, people rolling up on me on Accra, hey, you spotted again. You can see me doing all these different things, but then you can see me hanging out in Kenya in what they call the slum, which I didn't see was a slum. I saw it as a community and a family. It's like I go wherever. You can see me in the Maasai village, in the Maasai hut, and just as comfortable as I am any other place, because I was intentional about shifting my mindset and appreciating all aspects of it. And so that's the deal. So whatever you're into, Africa has it all. Whatever you're into, it has it all. And we want to be able to connect you to that. And if you're on the continent of Africa and you want to be a part of our Maximum Impact Travel Experiences, we're working on that as well, because I'm a huge advocate for intercontinental travel. That's why I was glad to see so many people from different countries here in South Africa. That's why I'm always encouraged when I see people traveling around, and I recognize economics plays a part in it. And that's why when it comes to intercontinental travel, we're working on different packages that can be mindful of that for our travelers here on the continent of Africa. So anyway, y'all know what to do. Like, subscribe, share, drop your comments below. And hey, as we continue on this journey here in Africa, in particular right now, Cape Town, South Africa. I'm on the top of Table Mountain, one of the historic landmarks in the world, and we want to bring you here. So until next time, take care, be safe.
Open up your eyes and see all the fun and mystery. Take an African adventure with Darren and Destiny. From the mountains to the shore, so many things to explore. Take an African adventure with Darren and Destiny.
The Adventures of Darren and Destiny. And Darren and Destiny are twin brother and sister, and you go on their adventures throughout the African diaspora, meaning so African diaspora destinations, primarily focused in Africa, but we go to South America, we're going to go to the Caribbean. Their first book is going to take you to Ghana, and then we're going to go on a safari, and from there we're going to go to Ethiopia, and then we go to Salvador, Brazil. And what the goal is to be able to inspire curiosity in the continent of Africa in our children from a very young age, and to really tell a more accurate story. Most of our children are exposed to negative images, late night infomercials about how bad things are, everybody's sick, everybody's poor, everyone's uneducated, but that's simply not true. So what Darren and Destiny and their family do is they go to different African destinations. They are learning about these different places. You're beginning to see positive images, but still telling the truth. I mean, that's the important thing, to tell the truth about some of the things that have occurred. But it's all done on our children's level, so they begin to understand it. And it begins to pique their curiosity. They begin to learn more. And hopefully one day they will want to explore and visit the continent of Africa and its many countries. There's just so much that Darren and Destiny are able to do, and as they're doing it, it's like they begin to open the minds of a new generation, and they don't get bombarded and indoctrinated with negativity. They're actually able to see positivity and inspiring images and messages about the African diaspora, as well as those who are still indigenous to the continent of Africa, and they begin to learn more and just see things differently. So I'm excited about introducing the Adventures of Darren and Destiny.